Okay, I want you to come up front so you'll be right near the camera. Let him sit over there where you sit. So that you can read right over, so you read loud. The microphone is right there, pick it right up. Because it got to be clear. So we're going into the 12 tribes. It's on now, right? We're going to show you in the scriptures who the 12 tribes are. Okay, we need to get these books. You need to get these books for your study. The name of this book I got in my hand is called James Ahrayah. James Ahrayah, History of the American Indians. James Ahrayah's History of the American Indians. We put it out in around 1675. They got many different dates that it was published. You see that in the book. Then the other book that's going to be hard to find is by Lord Viscount Kingsborough. I'm going to read this. Lord Viscount Kingsborough produced by far the most elaborate argument that the ancient and Indians of America were of Jewish origin. Now this man's name is Viscount, Lord Viscount, V-I-S-C-O-U-N-T, last name K-I-N-G-S-B-O-R-O-U-G-H. He published in London, 1830 to 1848, 9 volumes in which many ancient Spanish, French, and Mexican manuscripts were for the first time printed. This work cost Lord Kingsborough, it is said, above 32,000 pounds, wrecked his fortune, and lost him his life. He died a prisoner for debt. Kingsborough's work is beyond the reach of the average reader or student. It has become excessively rare, bringing about $500 in the book market. So you know it's worth much more than that now. Because that was around 18-something. Okay. Here's what it says in the contents. A history of the North American Indians, their customs, etc. Observation on their color, shape, temper, and dress. Observation on the origin and descent of the Indians. Observation and arguments and proof of the American Indians being descended from the Jews. Now, brother got another book. It's called The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. R-O-N-A-L-D-S-A-N-D-E-R-S. Ronald Sanders. Now the brother is going to read some quotations out of this book. Tell him page.
This is on page 182. Since it's in the second paragraph down.
Loud.
It's in the second paragraph down. Since Lander was convinced that the Indians were descended from the lost tribe of Israel. Now we're going to go to page 363. In the beginning chapter. It's on page 363 of the same book. In September 1644, a Portuguese Moreno named Antonio de Montesinos arrived in Amsterdam after having lived for some years in South America, and proceeded to tell the leaders of the recently established Jewish community there a story that caused them to think of him as a latter-day Eldad the Danite. 2.5 years before, he told them while traveling in the wild mountains of Quito, he had heard some of his Indian guides remark that the natives of that country deserved all the suffering they had undergone at the hands of the Spaniards. When he had asked them to explain why they thought such a thing, they had replied mysteriously that it was because we so badly treated a holy people, the greatest in the world. Nothing more had been offered by them on this point, but later in the same conversation, Francisco, one of the Indian guides, had declared that his countrymen would be avenged upon the Spaniards in time anyway.
Right, because he's an Israelite. That's the guy that replied. You got that? Everybody got that? This is the Indian. Because the Indians are Israelites, just like we proved in there. Right. Now listen to what he's going to say.
By means of a people now hidden.
No, nobody can tell me who that people now hidden. Now he's an Israelite. But he's talking about, if I talk too much, you're going to get the answer. I want you to think. Who's the people that this Israelite's talking about hidden? Read it again, brother, because they're still looking blank.
It said, nothing more had been offered by them on this point, but later in the same conversation, Francisco, one of the Indian guides, had declared that his countrymen would be avenged upon the Spaniards in time anyway by means of a people now hidden.
A people now hidden. Boy, y'all asleep. 83rd Psalm. Listen, 83rd Psalm. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not thy still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. The enemies of the Most High is all the nations on this planet. All the nations, with Esau at the top. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They that hate the Most High, the most that have lifted up their head is the so-called white man. They have lifted up their head as what? As Israelites, as the Most High, as Jesus Christ, as Moses, as Solomon. They have lifted up their head as the people of the Most High, the so-called white man, by painting all the people of the Most High so-called white people. Everybody understand? And they that hate thee, talking about the white man, have lifted up the head, meaning they have lifted themselves up as us, have made themselves honorable, have called themselves Jews and Israelites. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, meaning they overthrew all Israel, the white man, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Nobody know who the hidden ones is yet? Huh?
So-called Negro.
That's right. The so-called Negroes, the hidden ones. Tribe of Judah, the so-called Negroes, the hidden ones. Read that statement again.
It says, nothing more had been offered by them on this point, but later in the same conversation, Francisco, one of the Indian guides, had declared that his countrymen would be avenged
Who was his countrymen? Right, go on.
upon the Spaniards in time anyway by means of a people now hidden.
Why does it say that? Because the gathering of the people shall be to Judah. That's why it says that. So who's the hidden one? The so-called Negroes. Y'all still don't understand? This information was written back there. They were saying that the Indians was Israelites. They was always saying that. But they was keeping a secret that the Negroes were the Jews. And they hid them. Y'all don't pick up what you read in the scriptures. Now I'm going to give you scriptures on that. You finished?
Yeah, just about.
All right. Read that again.
Okay. Nothing more had been offered by them on this point, but later in the conversation, Francisco, one of the Indian guides, had declared that his countrymen would be avenged.
Who is his countrymen?
Israelites.
Who is he?
Israelites.
So-called what?
Indian.
Okay.
Who
is he talking about? The so-called American Indians he's talking about. When he said, my countrymen. Listen to what I'm asking. Read it again.
Nothing more had been offered by them on this point, but later in the same conversation, Francisco, one of the Indian guides, had declared that his countrymen would be avenged.
Indian guide. This Indian guide was a what?
Israelite.
So he's talking about his countrymen are what?
Israelite.
What was they calling his countrymen?
Indians.
Y'all got that? No.
That his countrymen would be avenged upon the Spaniards in time anyway, by means of a people now hidden.
So who was this people now hidden? Judah. Y'all got that? Y'all got to learn how to read what you pick up on what you read. That's why I went into the 83rd Psalm. I'm going to read it again. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace. Be not thy still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. The enemies making a tumult is all the nations. All the nations. Because they all took us down. And the one that has lifted up his head is the white man. He has lifted up his head as us. He has said, I am the Israelites. I'm the chosen people of the Most High. I'm the Christians. I'm the anointed people. I'm Moses. I'm David. I'm Jesus Christ. I'm the angel. I'm the Most High, right? And they have taken crafty counsel against our people. They lied about us. They call us what? Indians and Negroes and so on, right? That was crafty counsel. And consulted against thy hidden ones. The hidden ones are who? Judah. Okay, the so-called Negroes. Y'all got that, right? They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Who's the main culprit in this? The white man. Okay, but all the nations plotted, but the so-called white man is the main culprit in this. Now I want you to give me, brother, Isaiah 29. 29th chapter of Isaiah. I believe it's the 16th verse. 15 verse?
16. Turn upside.
Yeah. What's the 15th verse say?
Woe unto them that seek thee.
Right. Get the 15th verse.
Isaiah 29th chapter and the 15th verse.
Repeat it again.
Isaiah, the 29th chapter and the 15th verse. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh.
Yeah. Because the so-called white man thought he was going to stop the Most High's program. Whose program was he trying to stop? So he figured if he hide the truth, that'll stop the program, that'll stop the prophecies of Israel coming back and ruling this earth and putting him in captivity. Gone.
And their works are in the dark.
Yeah, because they were doing this secretly. Gone.
And they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay.
Okay, who knows where the scripture is? He that made the eye, can he not see? He that made the ear, can he not hear?
Psalms 94 and 9.
And the whole Isaiah 29, because we're going back to the 16th verse.
Right. The Psalms, the 94th chapter and the 9th verse. He that planted the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see?
So who is he telling that to? The so-called white man. There's a white man saying that the Most High is asleep. He don't know nothing. There ain't no Most High. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. Who's the fool?
The so-called white man.
Now go from there and go back to Isaiah 29, 16.
Isaiah 29, 16. Surely you're turning things upside down.
So when it says turn things upside down, it means exactly that. He was on the bottom. Like Most High said in Job, the 30th chapter, that he's more vile than anything on the earth, on the planet. He's more violent than anything in this earth. So he was on the bottom. So he put himself on the top as Israelites, as the people of the Most High, and put us on the bottom as the devil and children of Satan. That's what he's calling us. And wicked. Okay, you finished that statement?
Yes, surely.
Read it again.
Surely your turn of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay.
So you can understand that last part. Esteemed as the potter's clay, meaning the potter making stuff out of clay. He can take that pot and melt it back down and start over again. Put it in some more clay and start over again. Everybody understand? So the Most High is the creator. He turned things upside down. Most High can't turn them back right side up again. So that's what it's saying. Now, let's go from there and go to Genesis 49. So we're going to prove the tribes in here now. How to find out who they are. Start reading from the top, bro. Tell them where you at.
This is Genesis, the 49th chapter, and the first verse. And Jacob called all his and Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Are we in the last days? Okay, don't read too fast so it can be clear. Okay, so he's telling them what's going to befall them as a tribe in the last days. What are the last days? Now. Okay? He was telling them about future prophecies. Everybody got that? Okay, read on.
The second verse. Gather yourselves together, and hear ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, thou art my firstborn.
Now the Reubenites is the tribe of they call the Seminole Indians. That's the tribe of Reuben. The ones they call the Seminole Indians is the tribe of Reuben. Like list up on the sign up in here. The Seminole Indians, the tribe of Reuben. Okay? Read on. Loud.
Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength.
Okay. Read it again. Hold it a minute. Mike, let Mike get over there where you at. Yeah. So he don't block the speaker, the microphone. Come out all together. Go back in the back row. Okay, repeat that again.
Genesis 49, the 49th chapter, and the third verse. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity.
The excellency of dignity means that he would be a sharp-dressed guy. Now, the Seminole Indians was the only ones I seen over here put on a turban. They had a turban wrapped around their head. Any of y'all seen pictures of the Seminole Indians? I couldn't find my book with the pictures of them on it. Turban wrapped around their head. And they wore jewelry around their neck. Okay, and they wore long robes. Any of y'all seen any of that? Yeah. Okay, go on.
And the excellency of power, unstable as water.
Unstable as water because he went and messed around with one of Jacob's wives. Okay? Go on.
Thou shalt not excel.
That's the reason why it's going to tell you. Go on.
Because thou wentest up to thy father's bed. Then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch.
So when he say he would not excel me, he's not going to be over all the tribes. So his birthright position is taken away from him as being the head of all the tribes. Everybody got that? because he was the oldest of these children to be born. Go on, continue.
The 5th verse. Simeon and Levi are brethren.
Now, Simeon and Levi would dwell together, and they do dwell together on the island of Haiti. Part of that island is called what? The Dominican Republic. And the other part of it is called what? Haiti. So, y'all know that? So that's Simeon and Levi. Listen. Read.
Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation.
When it say instruments of cruelty are in their habitation, it's talking more than just weapons. Spiritual power. They have spiritual power. They can call the spirits out on you. They can take your sweat and mess. The most known place on this earth for voodoo is Haiti. For working with the demons and working with the spirits is Haiti. Everybody know that? Only thing they're working with evil too much. Okay? And the reason why they have such spiritual power because they was the what? Levites. The Haitians were the Levites. And the Haitians of that group, the Haitians are the top ones in that witchcraft. Everybody know that, right? Know what's going on?
The 6th verse. O my soul, come not thou into their secret.
O my spirit, come not thou into their secret. Why? Because their secret is what? Spiritual power, witchcraft. Don't let my spirit fall into their hands. Like I just mentioned, they take the sweat of your hat and they can jack you up with that. People be going to them, say, jack that guy up. Here's such and such amount. Here, jack them up. Y'all know about that, right? All right, go on.
Unto their assembly, mine honor, be not thou united.
Yeah, because the Most High said, no, don't let them be united. Let them be scattered throughout the tribes. Because they had too much power. Okay? And he didn't want them to be the rulers. Because he had already set who he was going to have the rulers, Judah. Everybody got that? So they had so much power, he scattered them within the nation to be the priests. All right, go on.
For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall.
Now, when you read the history on that, this guy Haman laid with their sister. Okay? Took her, forced her, raped her. Then they came and wanted to make an agreement because he was in love with his sister and all that. And Jacob made the agreement with him, but the two brothers say, look, when they all up there circumcised and all that, and they all up there laying sore, we're going to go and kill everybody. Take all their women and kids for slaves. Okay, and that's what happened. Come on.
The 7th verse. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel.
That's why they couldn't do nothing with them during the Toussaint Overture and Dessalines when they were fighting against Napoleon. Napoleon was over his army there, and they defeated Napoleon's army. And the Spaniards, they defeated them too. And they kicked the French off the island and the Spaniards off the island. And the British came and made a bargain agreement with them. Don't bother the Americans. Okay, don't bother the Americans. And the president that was over here said, don't bother the Americans. Okay, I can't think of his name, but because they were going to have the slaves was going to uprise here, and they was afraid that the Haitians leading the uprise, get together and lead the uprise all throughout the Americas. Because they had their spiritual power. They were jacking up the French and the Spanish with their spiritual power, and they were cutting them up, taking a leg, nailing it to a tree, taking the head, nailing it to a tree, cutting their eyeballs out. They were doing all kinds of stuff. All right.
I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
Read on.
Judah, the 8th verse. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Okay, now, so Levi and Simeon. Levi is the Haitian, and Simeon is the Dominican. Everybody got that? Negro and Indian father. Has to be a Negro and Indian father because you had Spaniards down there that took over, that's ruling certain portions and all of that. Just like throughout Central America, South America, and so on. And even in Puerto Rico, and Cuba.
The 8th verse. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
So the Most High is saying that he's going to make Judah the head tribe. Go on.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies.
Now when it said, thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies, is letting you know where Judah is at. Who's the head of the so-called white man's world?
America.
No, America. Listen, brother. Who's the head of the so-called white man's world?
America.
Okay. So if Judah got their hands in the neck of the enemy, where Judah have to be at?
In America.
Okay, you got that? North America. Talking about North America. Everybody got that? Ain't talking about South America, it's talking about North America. Read it again.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies.
So that's letting you know where Judah would be at. So Judah is in North America. Everybody got that? Go on.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
Because Judah is going to be the head. When it say thy father's children, the other tribes are going to bow down before Judah because Judah is going to be the head. It's like when Joseph, when you read this history about Joseph, Joseph had a vision after he was given this technicolor coat by his father. He had a vision and a dream, and he told the dream to his father and his brothers. And Jacob said, you mean me and your mother go bow down to you? And the 11 stars, the sun and the moon represent Jacob and his wife, his mother. And the 11 stars represent the other brothers. You mean we gonna all bow down to you? And they all got angry with Joseph. Okay, including Jacob. But did they have to bow down to Joseph? Because he was ruler over Egypt. So when they came to Egypt, they had to bow down before him, right? Speak to me, y'all.
The 9th verse. Judah is a lion's whelp.
So Judah is a lion's cub. Whelp means a child of a lion. Okay? So Judah is a lion's cub, so you can understand. So Judah is like a lion. Okay? But he's a cub. He's a baby now. All right, go on.
From the prey, my son, thou art gone up.
From the prey, are they going after the prey? No, the prey they're supposed to be going after is establishing this truth. But what are they going after? Drugs. Okay, they're killing each other and all of that. Everything but what they're supposed to be going after. Read it again.
From the prey, my son, thou art gone up.
So you can understand, what is the prey?
The Bible.
Right, the truth, the Bible, because they're supposed to raise up the prey ain't talking about Esau now. So you brothers don't be out there quoting that wrong. The prey is the Bible. That's what he's supposed to be going after. Everybody got that? I don't hear the whole class saying yet. All right, go on.
He stooped down. He couched as a lion.
He stooped down. When a lion stoops down and crouch, what are you getting ready to do? Right, he's getting ready to pounce. So he's getting ready to pounce on the enemy. He's been ready to pounce on the enemy ever since Martin Luther came. But have he really pounced on the enemy? No. Go ahead. He stooped down. Read it again.
He stooped down. He couched as a lion.
He's crouching as a lion ready to attack. Go on.
And as an old lion.
But he became an old lion, man. They ain't going in the right direction. What are they going in the wrong direction? They're trying to do it through politics and all that. Is it working?
No.
Over this city, the top city, New York City, in America, on the planet, they had the mayor over this city. The mayor of New York City is like being the president. Only job above mayor of New York City is president. not only had the mayor of New York City, they had the commissioner of the police department. The two top jobs in America. Okay? And besides that, like the brother said, they had the top guy in the military. All this going. But over this city here, they could have did a lot. Did they do it? No. Man couldn't have stopped them. They could have did it. They could have put it in order. He's the mayor, put it in order. Hey, no contractors work on any city projects except blacks in West Indian. Who's going to say no? Right. Huh? Because he got on the law books that the people that's supposed to get first choice is the people that's in this community of New York. Do the people in the community of New York get first choice? No, they got foreigners from out of state, whites from upstate and all that. They get the job. They get the construction. When the immediate community, they got these records, these laws on their books about the community here. So that the people in the community would have a job. But they're not enforcing it. Now, Dinkins could have enforced it. Everybody understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Also, when Dinkins was the mayor, he was the one that made the law on the vendors sell on the street. Dinkins made a law to get the vendors off the street. It was made by Dinkins. It was done by Dinkins.
Yeah, but it was pushed by, it wasn't, he didn't push it. It was pushed by people above him. He listened to them. Okay? He could have not listened to them and said, hell with them, and did what he wanted to do. He was mayor of New York City. It's his fault. And the other blacks should have rallied around him. Like Jesse Jackson, all the blacks should have rallied around him. Right. And with them rallying around him, they had all the people there. They had Puerto Ricans, all of them together. They got together and put them in office. They had them all together. If the white man did anything out of line, there would have been a war between. And you think he's gonna go that far? No. So Dinkins and them didn't push him because they're scared of this devil. But that was not the Most High's plan anyway. But I'm just showing you. If they had the heart, that was the time right there. To set everything up for blacks in this city. The police was acting up already. And the police commissioner wanted to kick them out. Wanted to kick a lot of whiteys out, but every time he tried to talk to them, here comes Dinkins. They would go back to Dinkins. They would talk to this guy that was over the union. They'd go back to Dinkins, and here goes the mess again. Okay? So he got tired of that. So the commissioner said, I quit. That's what happened. Okay, getting back to this. Let's go.
Right. The bottom of the 9th verse. Who shall rouse him up?
Who shall rouse Judah up? Read it again.
Who shall rouse?
Read it again.
The 9th verse. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up.
So lion's whelp means the lion's cub. From the prey you have gone up. The prey is the Bible. He's supposed to be teaching his Bible. He's supposed to be raising up the tribes of Israel because Judah is the head. Come on.
He stooped down. He couched as a lion.
He stooped down like he's going to attack. Go on.
And as an old lion.
But he done became like an old lion. Meaning that he done been swallowed up in the politics and the stuff of this man's system, thinking he can make it that way. Go on.
Who shall rouse him up?
So who's going to make him do what he's supposed to do? Who's going to make him do that? That's why I say in Hosea 5:15, somebody get that and read it. Hosea 5:15. Yeah, read it loud. You got to stand up and read it.
Hosea 5:15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
Today is talking about as Israel, us. Till we acknowledge our offense. He's going to go and return to it. In other words, I'm going to turn my back on you. Go on.
And seek my face.
And read the whole statement again.
I will go and return to my place.
So when he said he'd go and return to his place, that means he's going to turn his back on us, which he did. Go on.
Till they acknowledge their offense.
until they begin to acknowledge their offense. Now, we done started them acknowledging their offenses now, but not completely. Because this truth is getting out there now. Go on.
And seek my face.
And some of them are sinking now, but not like it's supposed to be. Go on.
In their affliction,
When the Most High put this heavy affliction on them, go on,
they will seek me early.
then they're going to seek him in masses. Okay? So there's going to be some heavy afflictions. To wake up Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all the tribes, Ephraim, all of them. They're going to be afflicted. So they're going to have to say, this is the Most High doing this. And what do we have to do? He's going to put them in that position so that they can accept the truth wholeheartedly. Go on, read on.
This is Genesis 4, the 49th chapter and the 10th verse. The scepter shall not depart from Judah,
The rulership shall not depart. Scepter means rulership. Go on.
nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
Judah was to teach the children of Israel. That's why it's calling them the lawgiver. Everybody got that? Go on.
Until Shiloh come.
Shiloh is Christ. Shiloh means peaceable. What that means by calling Christ peaceable means that he made peace between us and the Father, because we broke the law, the covenant, so there had to come somebody to redeem us back to the Most High, because we became outcasts when we broke the covenant. So Christ made the final sacrifice and redeemed us back to the Father, so he made peace between us and the Father. That's why it's called that, peaceable. Go on.
And unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
And when it say unto him shall be together, it's talking about Christ and it's talking about Judah. Shiloh is Christ. Everybody got that? And unto him shall the gathering of the people be means Christ. Christ had to come and wake them up first with the 12 disciples. Okay? Now Judah is petitioned to go out and gather the tribes. So that's what's happening now. Right on.
The 11th verse. Binding his foal unto the vine, and his asses colt unto the choice vine.
The vine is talking about is grapes, wine, the grapevine. Do so-called Negroes like wine? Yeah, what's the name? Red Foxes talk about that. Hey, but they drinking that muscatel and Swiss up, that bad guy. Okay? What's that? Midnight train. Night train. There you go.
He washed his garments in wine.
Yeah, hey, that means you drink, anytime you wash your garments in wine, that means you're drinking a lot of wine. So it's spilling all over your garments, right? Everybody got the understanding of that? No.
And his clothes in the blood of grapes.
And his clothes in the blood of grapes means he spilled a lot of wine on himself. Meaning he drinks a lot of wine. Everybody got the meaning of that? So Judah, the so-called Negroes do drink a lot of wine. Maybe they don't drink much wine like now because they're into what? Crack and all that other stuff. Back there in the 50s and all that, Judah used to drink a lot of wine. That's why Red Fox and all of them was talking about that. That's why, what's his name? Richard Pryor. When he's doing the thing, got the imaginary wine bottle in his hand. There we go.
The 12th verse. His eyes shall be red with wine.
Meaning he like a lot of wine. And it's also talking about Christ was like a lot of wine. Everybody got that? And that's telling you why his eyes were red. When you go and you read that his eyes were red. In Revelation. Everybody got that? No?
And his teeth white with milk.
They used to have them signs down south. I don't think any of y'all know about that. Where they had Jake on the sign and you can see the white eyes and you see the teeth. White. Okay, oh, you saw them, right?
Yeah, they're sitting on the quotes and everything. Sometimes they have just his eyes and his teeth and a big old slice of watermelon with a bite of it.
The 13th verse. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea.
Now we're down to the tribe of Zebulun. We got Judah. Judah is who? Reuben is who? Simeon is who? Levi is who? Okay. Now Now, starting again. Reuben is who?
Seminole Indians.
Simeon is who?
Dominican.
Dominican is what? Of Indian descent and Negro descent. Listen good. Of Indian father and Negro father. So you can understand. Levi is who? Okay, Judah is who? And where is he located at?
America.
What part of America?
North America.
Remember that, because this is all called the America. All right, Zebulon. Come on. Read it again.
Genesis 49, chapter the 13th verse. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea.
So it's giving you where Zebulon shall be in the last days. What is this we living in?
Last days.
Okay. It say that Zebulon in the last days would be for a haven of ships. That's Panama. Panama is for a haven of ships. That's why the Panama Canal was through there. Everybody got that? So from Guatemala to Panama, that whole strip of land going down to Panama, not just Panama, from Guatemala to Panama is located the tribe of who? Zebulon. Everybody got that? Not just the Panamanians. It goes from Guatemala to Panama. I don't have the map in here with me. I don't know where it's at. Anyway, go ahead.
And he shall be for an haven of ships.
And he shall be for a haven of ships. Do ships go through Panama? Read.
And his border shall be unto Zidon.
So in ancient time, he was along the borders of Palestine. So now in modern time, he's down at the borders down there. They're going through. Okay? Between North and South America, right? All right. Next. Come on.
The 14th verse. Issachar is a strong ass, couching down between two burdens.
And this is beautiful because they got on the banners in Mexico a burro loaded down with a whole lot of burdens. A whole lot of bundles on top of his back. Y'all seen that? Read the statement again.
Issachar is a strong ass, couching down between two burdens.
So Issachar is the Mexicans of Indian descent. Okay, because why do I say Indian descent? Because you got Spaniards in Mexico call themselves Mexicans. They're not the real Mexicans. The real Mexicans is the ones of Indian father. Everybody got that? Read on.
And he saw that rest was good.
Do they have a siesta down there? Man, it's beautiful. This is super clear. And even in the lost tribes, it tell you about that too. It tell you who certain tribes is within the lost tribes. You have to really get into that. I can't think of where the part is where it tell you about Ephraim.
Yeah, 376.
Ephraim and Manasseh.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the land that it was pleasant.
And when it's saying the land that it was pleasant means he was a farmer. Is he a farmer?
Right.
Remember during the revolutionary against the Spaniards, against the Germans and the Portuguese that was in their land, the Dutch that was in Mexico, they were fighting against them. Pancho Villa, Zapata, Emiliano, I think his name is, Emiliano Zapata. Okay? They made a movie about that, Zapata, Viva Zapata with Marlon Brando. And they darkened him up to make the movie. Plus he's supposed to be Indian. They darkened him up. How many of you saw that movie? Okay? That's a true story. Very long.
And bowed his shoulder to bear.
And he bowed his shoulder to bear the land. He became a farmer, because that's what they were. No?
And became a servant unto tribute.
And he became a servant unto who?
Tribute.
So who was making him pay tribute? The Spaniards, the Dutch, and the Germans that was in there was making him pay tribute. And then he rebelled against them. And that's Pancho Villa and all of that, and Viva Zapata and so on. Everybody with me? All right, so who is Issachar?
Indian descent.
16.
Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel.
So Dan did that. That's how you had Samson and all that. But now when you go to Revelation, Dan is not in the list. Go to Revelation. Because one of the tribes had to be taken out because there was too many. How many was it when we came out of Egypt?
13.
Why was it 13 tribes?
Levites were the teachers.
Right. Levites played the priesthood. That's why. Now, after the Levites prayed the priesthood, then they're supposed to go back to 12. That's why it says this in Revelation. Read it for 4 verse.
Revelation, the 7th chapter and the 4th verse. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Read it again.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Now, tell them where you're at.
This is Revelation, the 7th chapter and the 4th verse.
Now, read on.
Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000.
That's 1. Tribe of Judah. Jump to the next one.
Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000.
2.
Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000.
3.
Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000.
4.
Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000.
5.
Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000.
6.
Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000.
7.
Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000.
See, Levi done took a place. 8.
Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000.
9.
Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000.
10.
Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000.
Joseph represents Ephraim. That's 11.
Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000.
12. Where's Dan? Most High took him out. Because who's telling this to John? Jesus Christ is telling it. So if Jesus Christ is telling it to John, that means Dan is what? Taken out. Because they had to fit back in the 12 again. So Dan is not lost. That means the spirit, just the tribe of Dan is out. But the spirit of the Danites is going to come back within the nation. Only way that we're going to know that they was in Dan before is when the Most High open up our mind so we can go into the spirit world. Everybody got that? All right. Come back to Genesis 49.
Genesis 49, chapter and 16th verse again. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel.
What you did. You had out of him one of the greatest warriors ever. What was his name?
Samson.
Okay, now let's jump from that and go to the 19th verse.
The 19th verse. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Read it again.
Gad, a troop shall overcome him.
A troop shall overcome Gad. This troop is the cavalry, the U.S. cavalry. Okay, proving that Gad is the Indians. The so-called American Indians, mainly the Cheyenne, the Apache, the Sioux, the Cherokee, like that. Those are the tribe of Gad. Everybody got that? They call themselves many different names. They're the tribe of Gad. Everybody got that clear? The tribe of Reuben is just one, Seminole Indian. And really the Seminole Indians, as far as I know, ain't never signed a treaty with this country. Somebody brought that up recently. They ain't never had a treaty with us. All right, come on.
But he shall overcome at the last.
When is the last? Now, okay, so in the end, Gad's gonna overcome. Everybody got that? Go on.
20th verse. Out of Asher his bread shall be fat.
His bread shall be fat means a lot of stuff is in that land of South America. From Colombia to Uruguay, there's a lot of riches within that land. Riches within the earth. Oils and stuff like that. Everybody got that?
And he shall yield royal dainties.
And when it say he shall yield royal dainties, he shall put on royal clothing. They have the same holiday that all of them have called what? Carnival. And they put on the royal garments of during the time of the continental time and all of that. Right. We with shirts like I got on, that was it. We was ruling. We was ruling in Europe. We made up these shirts and all that. There, cut it a second. Cut it. All right, we're back in the scriptures. Wait, tell them where you're at.
This is Genesis the 49th chapter, and now the 21st verse.
So we've proven who the tribes are, who the 12 tribes are in the scriptures, so everybody knows where to find the proof. Read where you're at again.
Genesis the 49th chapter and the 21st verse. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He giveth goodly words.
Now, Naphtali is a hind. A hind is a goat, like a mountain goat. He's a hind let loose. He wanders about. The Indians that was gauchos, that was him. Okay, because the gauchos in the beginning, they wasn't Spaniards, they was Indians. Okay, and they hated the Spaniards. And they used to go and they used to do the riding and the roping, and just like Jake had to do that up here. First cowboys was who? Jake. So the first gauchos back there was the Indians. Okay, and they were like a hind let loose. Everybody got that? Everybody understand what I'm saying? Okay, so that's Naphtali, and that's Argentina and Chile. And you got different tribes up there and all of that. And they're coming back. And I've seen documentaries on them and all that. I'm going to have to start taping some of them off.
He giveth goodly words. 22nd verse.
He's a man of his word. All right.
The 22nd verse. Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well.
Read it again. Joseph is a fruitful bough, like the bough of a tree with fruit hanging on it. Go on.
Even a fruitful bough by a well.
He's well watered. Okay? And Joseph, Ephraim have a lot of kids. And Manasseh have a lot of kids too. Those are the children of Joseph. Go on.
Whose branches run over the wall.
When it says branches run over the wall, they ran over and intermingled into Esau's. Okay? Everybody got that? All right, go on.
The archers have sorely grieved them.
And the man have shot at them when they came over here. When you study history, conquistadors and all that, they call that a what? Port of riches. And they were killing like mad when you go into the history. They were killing Ephraim like mad. Any of y'all know about some of that? You know about some of that history? Go on.
And shot at him and hated him. But his bow abode in strength.
But his bow abode in strength, meaning they wasn't able to wipe him out. Why? Because the Most High kept him. Because he was the head tribe over here. Come on.
And the arms of his hands were made strong.
Yeah, they couldn't destroy him. Everybody got that? Read.
By the hands of the mighty power of Jacob.
That's who saved him, the Most High. The mighty power of Jacob is who? The Most High, Yahweh. Come on.
From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel.
From thence is the shepherd, is the stone of Israel. Now it's reflecting back to Joseph, their father. Because Joseph led them into where? Okay? So y'all can understand that. And he saved, Most High through Joseph, saved Israel from the famine and all that. So they didn't have to die. Okay? And brought them into Egypt and made a nation out of it. Everybody got that? Come on.
Even by the power of thy father, who shall help thee? And by
the power of thy father, who shall help thee is the Most High. Everybody got that? Come on.
And by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of
Speak to me, y'all. Come on.
Blessings of the deep that lie under.
When they say blessing of the deep that lies under, is letting you know that they are what? An island. Read the whole statement again.
Even by the power of thy Father, who shall help thee? And by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above?
With blessings of heaven above mean the sun. It's good weather down there for things to grow. Come on.
Blessings of the deep that lie under.
Blessing of the deep that lie under the island. Because they're an island in the ocean. Right? Read.
Blessings of the breast and of the womb.
Blessings of the breast and of the womb means they're going to have a lot of kids. So do they have a lot? Do Ephraim and Manasseh have a lot of kids?
Right.
Hello?
The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitor.
The blessings of his father, Jacob, have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitor. Come on.
Unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren.
So Joseph had who? Ephraim and Manasseh. Okay, they both live where? In islands. And they both are blessed by the heaven above, and the sea that crouches beneath means they're islands. Everybody got that?
Yeah, I'll read this real quick.
No, hold it. I want to get through with this, then I'll come back to that. Okay, is that the last one in there?
No, that's that one.
Come on.
This is the 27th verse. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil.
Did we read that whole thing?
Yes, up on
Joseph?
Yes.
Read the 26th verse, right?
Come.
Read Benjamin again. Tell them where you at.
Genesis 49, the 49th chapter and the 27th verse. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf.
Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. Shall raven as a wolf. Meaning what? What is the wolf doing? What is he doing? He ain't just crying out. What is he doing? What is the wolf doing? Nobody know? Yeah, he's calling together the other wolves. And he's singing about what they're getting ready to do. Okay? So when Benjamin be making up these songs about Babylon and all that, he's singing about what they want to do. What they're getting ready to do. In the spirit, they're going to do it. Everybody got that? Read it again.
Benjamin shall raven as a wolf.
So that means the songs that Benjamin be singing about Babylon. You got that? And what they're going to do to Esau. When the wolves get ready to attack you, they sing before they attack you, right? They're singing about who's going to rip this leg up. If we go that way, you guys go around that way and get them. They're setting up their strategy. And they're singing about you, what they're going to do to you, what they're going to do to this particular prey they got in the trap. All right, go on.
In the morning he shall devour the prey.
In the morning means our morning, the morning of our rulership. Okay, so y'all can understand why it says in the morning. Because what are we in? The night. Okay? We're in the night. Whose kingdom is this? Right. Well, it's nighttime to us. Now the Most High going to make it nighttime to him. Like they're saying, I put your lights out. And it's going to be our morning. Our wake up. So in the morning when we rule, when we're given the power to take the man down, read.
And at night he shall divide the spoil.
The night represents day night. Okay? We're going to divide their spoils as we destroy them. Read the whole statement again.
Benjamin shall raven as a wolf.
Man, it's saying what he's going to do to you.
In the morning he shall devour the prey.
In the morning, when our time to rise up, he's going to devour the prey. Who's the prey? Right, and the other nations. Go on.
And at night he shall divide the spoil.
And when we have defeated Esau and all the other them their night on them, we're going to do what?
Well,
Y'all got that, right? Amongst the tribes. Read.
all these are the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is it that their father spake unto them, and blessed them. Everyone, according to his blessing, he blessed them.
Okay, now, let's go from there and go to Deuteronomy 33. Hold it. Hold it. Okay? Right now.
It's recorded.
Okay. See, let it stay. Don't worry, got 2 hours on it. I ain't going to take up the 2 hours. I'm going to finish up now. The next 15 minutes of the track. Deuteronomy 33. I'll give it to you. That's a minute. Go from, start at the 6th verse.
Deuteronomy 33rd chapter and the 6th verse.
Really, start at the 5th verse.
Deuteronomy 33 and 5. And he was king in Jeshurun, when the heads of the people and the tribes of...
Right, back up to 4. Back up to 4 and read down.
Deuteronomy 33 and 4. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob.
What was Moses? A Levite. A Levite. Everybody got that? Read on.
And he was king in Jeshurun.
And the Most High made him king over Israel. Okay.
When the heads of the people and the tribes of Israel were gathered together, let Reuben live and not die. And let
Reuben live and not die, meaning don't let the enemy, which is the so-called white man, wipe out the Seminole Indians. Did he wipe them out?
No.
Everybody, did he wipe them out?
No. And let not his men be few.
So don't let him get wiped out. There we go.
And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, hear Yahweh, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people.
And bring him unto his people. Judah is supposed to be doing what? Gathering the 12 tribes. So you see that? And bring him unto his people and wake him up so that he can gather the 12 tribes. Everybody see that? Read.
Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou and help to him from his enemies.
Yeah, because the white man was trying to get rid of us. He's still trying to get rid of you. He's trying to get rid of you. He's still trying to get rid of you. And he's trying to get rid of all Israel. Everybody got that? All right, go on.
The 8th verse.
But I'm going to say he watches Judah more than he do anybody else because he know that's the head. That's the key. If he can get rid of that, then the prophecy is done away with. Like this movie called Prophecy. They got rid of Gabriel because Gabriel leads the charge. The last trump, he has the horn. He blows the horn for what? For the angels in charge. Okay, at the last trump, that's him blowing the horn. So Esau is saying in that movie Prophecy, if I get rid of Gabriel, I can stop the angels from coming.
Smoking crack.
He showed the angels coming in heaven, and then when he killed Gabriel, the angels stopped coming. Who saw the movie? Y'all remember that? The angels coming in the clouds, then when they killed Gabriel, they stopped. And then this man was nasty. He had Gabriel getting beat with a tire. No, that was a tire. Screw the towel.
You'll pay good money to watch that.
All right, go on.
The 8th verse. And of Levi he said, let thy Thummim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One.
The Thummim and the Urim is the two bones. I gave color for a certain answer. You ask an answer and it would light up a certain way.
Right.
Okay? All right, go on.
Whom thou didst prove at Massa, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah, who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children, for they have observed thy word and kept thy covenant.
Yeah, in other words, Levi didn't stray from the law, did Levi was strict. In other words, that's why when they was around there starving, they had cattle. But why didn't they go and take the cattle? They were starving, right? Why didn't they go take the cattle? Because the Levites were guarding the cattle. And the Levites were rough. So they didn't go over there and try to take no cattle. Y'all, that's why y'all got to study. During the time they were starving, were asking for meat, they had all this cattle. But if Moses had let them eat up there wouldn't be nothing left. Because remember, they were doing a lot of sacrifices and stuff. There would have been nothing left if he allowed them to eat that. So so the Levites was the one that was guarding the cattle. That's why they still had it. And they were strict. They didn't listen to mother, father, nobody. All right, go on.
The 10th verse. They shall teach Jacob thy judgments.
And they did. So we can skip some of this. Jump down to Benjamin. 12 verse.
12th verse. Deuteronomy 33 and 12. And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in the safety by him, and the Lord shall cover him all the day long.
When they say the Lord shall cover him all the day long, that means Benjamin lives in the islands too. What covers Benjamin all the day long? The sky. The sky. The sky. Read it again.
And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him, and the Lord shall cover him all the day long.
The sky covers him all the day long. Beautiful sky. Y'all got that? Read on.
And he shall dwell between his shoulders.
And he shall dwell between the shoulders of the Most High. What is the shoulders of the Most High? The answer I already gave you of one part. What is the shoulders of the Most High?
The sky.
The sky is one shoulder. What's the other shoulder? Right. Y'all got that? So that's letting you know that he dwells in the islands too. Everybody got what I'm showing? Read it again.
And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him, and the Lord shall cover him all the day long.
So he covers him with the sky, with a beautiful sky, all the day long, because they're in the where? Ocean. They're islands. Everybody got that? Read.
And he shall dwell between his shoulders.
And he shall dwell between the shoulders of the Most High. So the West Indies on the islands and all that, they dwell in between what? The sky and the sea. So those are the shoulders that the Most High is talking about. His shoulders, the sky and the sea. Everybody got that? All right, go on.
And of Joseph he said, Blessed of the Lord be his land, for the precious things of heaven.
For the precious things of heaven, they have good weather. He's in an island, and what's being brought forth? All kinds of fruit. Go on.
For the dew, and for the deep that coucheth beneath.
And that's letting you know it's an island again that is talking about. And Manasseh and Ephraim dwell in what? Okay. Come on.
And for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun.
It's explaining it. How you going to go wrong with that? It's explaining it. Go on.
And for the precious things put forth by the moon. And for
they dwell in what? In the islands, in a pleasant place. With the sun light in the daytime to bring forth, they got good weather. Just once in a while you get a hurricane or a cyclone. And that's for punishment. You know? Come on.
And for the chief things of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things of the lasting hills.
Right. And they was rich too. They call that what? The island of riches. They didn't call it Puerto Rico means port of riches. They wasn't calling it a port of riches because they had nothing. They was calling it port of riches because they saw jewels. They saw jewels hanging off the Ephraimites and Manasseh, mainly Ephraim, because he was the head tribe. And gold and all that, all around. All of them had gold and silver and stuff like that. Like Montezuma. Okay? But Ephraim was so rich because he was the top tribe. It's so rich, they call it what? Right. Now, where's all that riches? In the ocean. because they were trying to take it back in the Bermuda Triangle. Come on.
The 16th verse. And for the precious things of the earth, and fullness thereof, and for the goodwill of him that dwelt in the bush.
Now jump from there and go to
18.
17.
Something. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock.
Of the bullock is how? Firstling of the bullock. Because Joseph was the first one to help lead us into the land. Because he led us into what? Egypt, to become a nation. Everybody got that? Come on.
And his horns are like the horns of unicorns.
Meaning it can't be destroyed. Even though they try to destroy him. Read.
With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth.
With them we shall push the people together to the ends of the earth and talk about Manasseh now. The other son of Joseph. Because where did the Cubans go? Into Africa. And they were fighting the cracker over in Africa. They had armies down there fighting against the cracker to get them out of this area and that area. Any of y'all know about that?
Yeah.
Y'all don't listen to news. Y'all don't listen to the news?
Yeah.
Y'all better start listening to news. All right, come on.
And there are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and there are the thousands of Manasseh.
Okay, so it got this. So what it's talking about, Ephraim and Manasseh. And Manasseh went over there in Africa. I think they still got army groups over there now in Africa. All right, come on.
The 18th verse. And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents.
So we know what that is already. Zebulun is who? Right,
So-called
from Guatemala. Right. And Issachar is who?
So-called Mexicans.
Now, let's jump down to 20.
Okay. The 28th verse. And of Gad he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as...
Does Gad have a lot of land? Man, he had most of North America. He had some land. Did he not have some land? Huh? Speak to me, y'all. Go on.
He dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the...
When he say dwelleth as a lion, what is Gad? One word. Warrior. Ain't he a warrior? So he dwelleth as a lion. He's a warrior. Go on.
And teareth the arm with the crown of the head.
Now this is two parts. And teareth the arm, get the first part. He does something with the arm. What do he do with the arm? He cut his arm, make the blood brother fly. Okay? Then it says with the crown of the head, means he got a special crown on his head that nobody else ain't got. That's that bonnet, that headdress. That bonnet headdress. When you look around this earth, ain't nobody else got that crown. Right? So read it again.
And of Gad he said, Blessed be that enlargeth Gad.
His land, he got a lot of land. Don't he have a lot of land? Go on.
He dwelleth as a lion,
He is a warrior. Go on.
and teareth the arm with the crown of the head.
And tears the arm means he does something with the arm. What do he do? A blood brother right. So he cut the arm with his knife. One point, brother was saying he tears the arm with the feather out of the crown. That's a lie. He cuts the arm. That's what it's talking about. You got to separate them. He cuts his arm and with a knife and make the blood brother right. Okay? With the crown of his head is letting you know he got a special crown on his head. That's the feather, the bonnet, the headpiece that runs all the way down his back. Nobody got that headpiece. Okay?
The 21st verse. And he provided the first part
The Seminole Indians, to check them out to see they're different. They don't even wear that headpiece. They wear what? Turban wrapped around their head. Now we're going.
And he provided the first part for himself.
Okay, over here in America. He had the major portion over here. Then when you go back in history, the same thing when we came out of Egypt. He was one of the front runners in the war of taking the land. Okay? So now you got all the tribes in there. Now we're going to go and get each. No, one more. No, jump to Naphtali.
Right.
Skip Dan because Dan is, he's taken out. So jump to Naphtali.
This is Deuteronomy 33rd chapter, the 23rd verse. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor and full with the blessing of the Lord.
Yeah, because Naphtali got a good area too over there in Argentina and Chile. Okay, come on.
Possess thou the west and the south.
Okay, that's over there in South America, in Argentina and Chile. Them Indians that's over there. They call some of them boat people. Huh? Yeah. They show some of them on boats and all of that. And they have that funny type of hat. That Judah was out here wearing that hat one time too. With the tassel hanging off the front. Looked like a bed hat. Looked like a nightcap. Come on.
And of Asher he said, let Asher be blessed with children.
And Asher is South America, from Colombia to Uruguay. Okay, Brazil is a major portion of that. Go on.
Let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil.
And they got oil in that land when you go and you check out the resources. They got untapped resources there. They're trying to tap them. Hold your hand down. Read on.
Thy shoes shall be iron and brass.
They got iron and brass in that land too. One brother had a map and he put up all them things on there, what they got in that land. All right, go on.
And as thy days, so shall thy strength be.
Okay. Now, let's go from there and let's go to Hosea. Then I'm going to let the brothers go that have to go. And this is the teaching about the 12 tribes. And all the schools that get this information on this tape, teach the way I'm showing you. Don't make up new things about the tribes, because I'm giving you the meaning of what is saying in the scriptures about the tribes, not a proof. All right, bear with me a minute. Press pause a minute. From Hosea, the 7th chapter and the 8th verse. And you read down to the 9th verse.
Fine.
You got it?
Fine.
Read.
Hosea, the 7th chapter and the 8th verse. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people.
So who are the people that Ephraim had mixed himself among? So-called white man. Remember we read that back there.
Ephraim
We
is
read that back there in Genesis. Go on.
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
So it's explaining. When you're cooking a cake in the oven and you don't turn it, then it's light on one side. Okay? So it's explaining why Ephraim, some of them are light, because they mixed themselves with Esau. Everybody understand? That's why you got to go by the father. But your father of Indian descent, your father of Negro descent. Now, if there's a reason you can't trace who your father was, and you're in this truth, don't let it bother you. Because if you're in this truth, the Most High got you in here, and you're Israelite. Because the Most High know who you are. Now, the proof on that is this. So brothers can't be going off on Ephraimites and Manasseh, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, until you find out who they are. Dominicans and all of that, because some of them going to look like Esau and they're going to be Israel. You got to find out who their father is first. And if you can't find out who their father is, the Most High bring them in. It's the Most High, because ain't nobody getting in here. There ain't nobody going to make it in here. Okay, that the Most High don't know. See, we don't know everybody, but he knows everybody. I'm going to give you a scripture on that. Give me Amos 9 and 8. And read down.
Amos,
Tell them where you at.
Amos, the 9th chapter and the 8th verse. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom.
So America is the sinful kingdom. America. America is top of the white world. The whole kingdom is sinful. But the focal point is what? America. No?
And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth.
And America is going to be the one that's going to be destroyed totally as a desert. No?
7, that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob.
Because the house of Jacob is Israel. We're here. The Israelites is here in America. No?
Saith Yahweh, for lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel
He
among...
shall sift the house of Israel. So, hey, we don't know everybody, but the angels know everybody. You see what I'm showing you? All right. Well, read it again. So what?
For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel
So the Most High can command the angels to sift the house of Israel. Go on.
among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve.
Come on.
Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
So Israelites is not going to fall through the holes. Okay? What is not Israel is going to fall through the holes. So who's going to do this? The angels. Because we don't know everybody. But if you're in this truth and you don't know who your father is and all, don't worry about that. Because the Most High is the one got you in it. And if you lead you all the way through it, that's the Most High got you in it. And the other brothers shouldn't be oppressing other brothers. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I think I had a good precept for you if you wanted it to what you were saying. It's in John.
Let me hear what it says. Cut the camera. Cut the camera.
It's in John.
For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations.
So Israel ain't gonna be lost. Because the Most High is sifting, doing the sifting through the angels. Come on.
Like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
Okay. So the Most High got that covered. So why stretch your brain? Okay. Now, when we out there on the street and the brother tell you, I'm an Ephraimite, and he said, my father, you have to leave it. Okay? Because the Most High going to deal with it. All right, go back to where you was at. Tell them where you at.
This is Hosea, the 7th chapter. We're now in the 9th verse. Strangers have devoured his strength.
Start again.
This is Hosea, Hosea 7:8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people.
That means he mixed himself among the so-called white men. So all of them are not Ephraimites. It's like all the tribes. That's why we say Indian father and Negro father. That's why you got to mention that when you speak. Everybody hear me?
Right.
There we go.
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
He's a cake not turned because he mixed himself among Esau. Okay?
Strangers have devoured his strength.
The strangers that devoured his strength is Esau. They took his land. They call it what? Port of Riches.
And he knoweth it not.
And he don't know that. He doesn't know that he's Israel, just like Judah and all the rest of the tribes. Don't know who they are. But I noticed something. I don't know if y'all noticed this. What tribe you from? Ephraim? What tribe you from? A lot of Ephraimites name themselves Ephraim. That's spiritual. That's spiritual right there. That's spiritual. So it goes.
Yea, gray hairs are here and there upon him.
Yeah, and he don't. In other words, he's in this setup just like we did for many years, and he's Ephraim, and he don't know he's Ephraim. Just like we Israel, we Judah and all that, we don't know we Judah and Benjamin. So, everybody got that? No.
Yet he know it not.
He don't know that he is Israel. Y'all got that? So y'all see what it's talking. You finished?
Yeah, that's the 9th verse. You said read to the 9th verse.
You right. And hold it a second. Jump to the 11th verse.
Hosea, the 7th chapter and 11th verse. Ephraim
statues in the car and all that. And that filtered out all the tribes. Dominicans do the same thing. I think the Cubans do the same thing. Okay? So you can understand what that's talking about. Go ahead.
They called to Egypt.
Yeah, they called to Egypt. And in Puerto Rico, they want to be part of what? Right. When the other groups say, no, we don't want to be under America. We want to break away, right?
Right. They go to Assyria.
That means America again. So they follow the customs of this setup, just like all the rest of the tribes do. The religions of this setup. Roman Catholic. Most of them is under the Roman Catholic. Right? Okay, that's it. Okay, now we're going to go in the book called The Lost Tribes and Promised Land again by Ronald Sanders. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. And we're going to read proving about the Israelites being Indians again.
This is from page 364. Blessed be the name of the Lord, who has not made me an idolater, and a barbarian, a Negro, an Indian. When suddenly he stopped, those Indians, he told himself, they are Hebrews, pondering this thought incredulously, and yet with growing conviction.
Hear what that Spaniard said? Go back and read what he said again.
He said, blessed be the name of the Lord, who has not made me an idolater, a barbarian, a Negro, an Indian.
But Negroes are the tribe of Judah. Indians are Israelites, right? Then he had to come back and say what?
When suddenly he stopped.
Yeah, he stopped and said, wait a minute. I should be glad to be a Negro or Indian because they are the Hebrews. So y'all got the understanding of that.
Those Indians, he told himself, they are Hebrews. Pondering this thought incredulously, and yet with growing conviction, he resolved that if he ever was released, he would seek out the Indian Francisco and try to learn the truth.
Right. Because now he thought about what he said was wrong.
This is further down in the fourth paragraph.
Come on, loud.
She then turned to her male companions to explain the situation. Upon hearing her words, they went up to Montesinos, and to his utter astonishment said, Shema, Yisroel, Adonai Elohuni, Elohinu, Adoni Ehud. Echad.
Okay. What he said was Shema Yisrael, Adonai Elohinu, Adonai Echad. Which means, hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one.
They had recited in Hebrew the fundamental credo of Judaism.
You got that? That's what the Indians said. So they're Israelites. You got that? So that, come on.
A brief conversation then ensued in their common ancestral tongue, according to Montesinos, whose fluency in it is almost as perplexing to the reader of his narrative as is this of his three mysterious new companions. They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben.
You got that? The tribe of Reuben, proving that they were Israelites. Y'all got that, right? Come on.
And that the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby.
Read that last statement again. And that what?
And that the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby.
So that's the proof, verifying what I was telling you. All right. With that, that's the 12 tribes. And on, we're getting ready now to talk about the Roman Empire. In the book of Ezra, 2nd Ezra and the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra, the 11th chapter speaks about this eagle with 12 feathers. We're going to break down what the 12 feathers are, the 3 heads are on the eagle, and the lesser feathers, which were 8 lesser feathers. Read.
2nd Ezra 11:1. Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathers, wings and 3 heads.
12 feathered wings. Loud, very loud. These are the 12 Julius Caesar, Augustus Caesar, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Nero, Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titus, Domitian, Nerva, Trajan. I'm sorry. Let me start again. Julius Caesar, 1. Augustus, 2. Tiberius, 3. Caligula, 4. Claudius, 5. Nero, 6. Galba, 7. Otho, 8. Vitellius, 9. Vespasian, 10. Titus, 11. And Domitian, which are the 12 feathers it's talking about. Go ahead. Loud now.
Yeah. And I saw, and behold, she spread her wings over all the earth, and all the winds of the air blew on her, and were gathered together.
When it says she spread her wings over all the earth, that means the Roman Empire conquered the whole earth. Go ahead.
And I beheld, and out of her feathers there grew other contrary feathers.
These are the little feathers. There was 8 of these little feathers. These are the 8 names that go with these little feathers. Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antonius Pius, Antonius Pius, Marcus Aurelius, Lucius Verus, Commodus, Pertinax, Didius Julianus. Okay, the last two, Pertinax and Didius Julianus, which made 9, where they say 8 there, because these two was written at the same time. This was 193 AD. And Septimius Severus, the black Jews, that's when we took over the Roman Empire, was 193 AD. So these two guys didn't get much time to rule because we took it.
Right.
That's what they call the fall of the Roman Empire. That's why they keep showing that movie every once in a while on cable called The Fall of the Roman Empire. But they never go and show Septimius ruling. They always quit with Commodus. Because they don't want to show Septimius Severus ruling, even though they got white people playing the part. They don't want to show him ruling because they know that's when we took him over. All right, read.
And they became little feathers and small.
What verse you in
I'm
now?
going into the 4th verse now.
Go ahead.
But her heads were at rest. The head in the
Now,
midst.
the reason why I say the heads were at rest, because the 3 heads represent the end of that setup, which is coming over here to America, okay, which represent the Spanish, the British, and the French. That's what the 3 heads represent. They were sleeping because they wasn't doing that time. The Spanish, the French, and the British Empire wasn't doing that time. What empire was doing that time? The Roman Empire. Come on.
The head in the midst was greater than the other.
The head in the midst that was greater than the other was Britain, Great Britain. All right, go on.
Yet rested it with the residue. Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and reigned upon the earth. And
So that's the Roman world. The Roman world taking over the earth. Go on.
and over them that dwelt therein. And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her.
So they rule the whole world, like it says in the book of Daniel. Because as we go into this reading of 2nd Ezra, we're going to read about the book of Daniel. Come on.
And no man spake against her, no, not one creature upon the earth. And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose up on her talents, and spake to her feathers, saying, Watch not all at once.
Watch not all at once, because these feathers had certain times to rule. Everybody understand it? Come on.
Sleep everyone in his own place.
And after they rule, sleep everyone in his own place. So the first ruler of this group was who? Julius Caesar. Go on.
And watch by course. But let
Watch
it,
by course means that each had a chance, each of these 12 had a chance to rule. Come on.
but let the heads be preserved for the last.
Let the heads, the 3 heads on the eagle, be preserved until the last days, which is the time we're living in. Okay? So the 3 heads on the eagle was the British, the Spanish, and the French. As we go on down to the end of that prophecy, it's going to speak about 2 feathers behind the eagle's head, which represent America, the Republican and the Democratic Party.
And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her head, but from the midst of her body.
It didn't go out of our heads because the heads wasn't ruling then. Britain, France, and Spain wasn't ruling then. Who's ruling then? The Roman Empire. Read.
And I numbered her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them.
And the 8 contrary feathers, like I named the 12 from Julius Caesar to Domitian. Now the 8 was Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antonius Pius, Marcus Aurelius, Lucius Verus, and Commodus, and Pertinax. Those were the 8. And the other one was added because he was there at that same time, 9, Didius Julianus. Come on.
And I looked, and behold, on the right side there rose 1 feather, and reigned over all the earth.
That feather is Julius Caesar, and reigned over all the earth. The beginning of the Roman Empire, ruling the whole world. Come on.
And so it was that when it reigned, the end of it came.
Yeah, the end of Julius Caesar's reign came. Okay? Come on.
And the place thereof appeared no more. So the next following stood up and reigned, and had a great time.
The next stood up and reigned and had a great time, greater than all the rest of them. That was Augustus. And I got the time in this book. Augustus ruled from 27 BC to 14 AD. He ruled longer than any of them. It's going to say that. And had a great time.
And it happened that when it rained, the end of it came also, like as the first, so that it appeared no more. Then came there a voice unto it and said, Hear, thou that hast borne rule over the earth so long. This I say unto thee,
rule over the earth so long. Go on.
Before thou beginnest to appear no more. There shall none after thee attain unto thy
Read
time.
again so it'll be clear. There shall what?
There shall none after thee attain unto thy time.
There shall none after thee attain to thy time. So that was Augustus Caesar. So he said nobody would rule as long as Augustus Caesar in this line of the Romans. And the proof is right in the book what I just read. He ruled longer than any of them. Go on.
Neither unto the half thereof. Then arose the third, and reigned as the other before, and appeared no more also. So went it with all the residue one after another, as that everyone reigned, and then appeared no more. Then I beheld, and lo, in process of time, the feathers that followed stood up on the right side, that they might rule also. And some of them ruled, but within a while they appeared no more.
Yeah, the 8, they didn't rule long. They didn't rule as long as the 12 main ones. All right, go on.
For some of them were set up, but ruled not.
Right. Like the last 2 that was set up, Pertinax and Didius Julianus was in 193 AD, both of them. And Septimius Severus was in 193 AD. So he took away their rulership. They didn't have time to rule. Read.
After this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more.
Yeah, the 12 main leaders from Julius Caesar to Domitian was no more. Go on.
Nor the 2 little feathers. And there was no more upon the eagle's body, but 3 heads.
Now the 2 little feathers is talking about, it's going to get to the end of that. Go on.
And there was no more upon the eagle's body, but 3 heads that rested, and 6 little wings.
Go ahead.
Then saw beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wing thought to set up themselves and to have the rule. And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more. And the second was sooner away than the first.
So it's going back through the 8 of them again. Okay? And these 2 feathers here, I'm sorry, is the last 2, Pertinax and Didius Julianus, whom Septimius took from their rulership. Come on.
And I beheld, and lo, the 2 that remained thought also in themselves to reign. And when they so thought, behold, there awake one of the heads that were at rest, namely it that was in the midst, for that was greater than the 2 other heads.
So this head that awoke in the midst there, we're talking about Great Britain. Come on.
And then I saw that the 2 other heads were joined with him. And behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up the 2 feathers under the wing that would have reigned. But this head put the whole earth in fear, and bare rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth, with much oppression. And it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been.
So the British, the French, and the Spanish, they were ruling over the whole world, but we interrupted their empire. We know about that part. Go ahead. Where you at now?
The 33rd verse.
Come on.
And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. But there remained the 2 heads, which also in like sort ruled upon the earth, and over those that dwell therein. And I beheld, and lo, the head upon the right side devoured it, that was upon the left side. Then I heard a voice.
War between the Spanish and the French and the British. Go on.
Then I heard a voice which said unto me, Look before thee, and consider the thing that thou seest. And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion.
Now this roaring lion is Jesus Christ. Now it gives you Revelations 5 and 5. Revelations 5 and 5.
Revelation, the 5th chapter and the 5th verse. And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof.
So this lion represents Christ. So the lion chased out of the woods, a roaring, as it were, a roaring lion chased out of the woods. Go back to it again.
Right. And I beheld, and lo, as it were, a roaring lion chased out of the wood.
There's a 2nd Ezra, the 11th chapter, 36th verse.
And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle.
Give it again.
The 2nd Ezra, 11th chapter, and now the 37th verse. And I beheld, and lo, as it were, a roaring lion chased out of the wood.
So that's Jesus Christ. Go on.
And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle.
So the lion sent out a man's voice unto the eagle. Remember, Christ was in the Roman Empire. They put him to death.
Right.
Remember, he was doing the time of the Roman Empire. So y'all can understand, right? All right, go on.
And said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, Art not thou it that remainest of the 4 beasts?
Now, the 4 beasts is talking about, to let you know, it's talking about exactly what I told you. It gives Daniel 7 and 3. Go to Daniel 7 and 3. Daniel 7, chapter 3rd verse.
Daniel 7 and 3. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea.
So these 4 great beasts was the Babylonian Empire, the Medes and the Persian Empire, beast number 2, the Greek Empire, beast number 3, the Roman Empire, beast number 4. What are we in? Right, we're in the Roman Empire. All right, go on.
Diverse one from another.
Yeah, go back.
So this is 2nd Ezra, 11th chapter and the 39th verse. Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts.
So what remaineth for the four beasts? America. Okay. And them little groups of the 10 horns. Britain, France, so on. That remaineth of the Roman Empire. So it then brought us up to the time we live in now.
Right.
Everybody see that? Whom I made, read it again. Art not thou.
Art not thou in the remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign my world, that the end.
Read it again. Whom I made to reign in my world.
Art not thou in the remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them.
That the end of their times. Are we living in the end? Are we living in the last days?
Right.
So I know without a shadow of a doubt that's what it's talking about. Y'all see that, right? All right, go on.
And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past.
The fourth beast was who? The Roman Empire. And that's the empire we're in. Go on.
And had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth.
Are they not ruling the whole earth? Remember it said in Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. Who is that? The white man. That's the proof of it. With much what?
With much wicked oppression.
And don't they have wicked oppression? So who's this talking about? Class? All right, go on.
And so long time.
Not just America, all of them.
And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with
And so long time have he been ruling. Have he been ruling a long time? Right. Yeah. Go on.
And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
What is deceit? Lies. So what is he having deceit about? Christianity, which is lies. Because he's not teaching the truth about that. Because the white people are not the Israelites. White people are not Jesus Christ, and so on. So what have he been teaching? Lies. So that's talking about his church philosophy. Read on.
For the earth hast thou not judged with truth.
So what they calling themselves what? The Christians, and they trying to judge everybody. Like on their money, they say, in what? God we trust. And they out there in the world like they're the righteous, trying to judge everybody. But are they judging everybody with truth? No. What are they judging with?
Lies.
All right, go on.
For thou hast afflicted the meek.
Who's the meek that they have afflicted?
Israel.
Yeah, us. We're the meek. Go on.
Thou hast hurt the peaceable.
Who's the peaceable that he afflicted?
Israel.
That's us too. The Indians was at peace with him when he came in. How did he treat them? Huh?
Treachery.
Go on.
Thou hast loved liars.
And don't he love liars? Who is the liar? His preachers. Okay. Go on.
And destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit.
So he destroyed the dwellings of Ephraim. Call that port of riches. He destroyed the dwellings of the Israelites throughout North, South, and Central America. And he's occupying our dwelling and brought us over here on the slave ship, right? Benjamin, Judah, and Levi. Come on.
And has cast down the walls of such as did me no harm.
And he cast down the walls of the Indians. They didn't do him no harm. They were treating him good. But he came and destroyed their land, right?
Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest.
So his wrongful dealings that come up before the Most High. Like I said in Revelations 18:4. Go on.
And thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also.
Is he a proud man? Yeah. He's a faggot. He's proud too. He's proud to be a faggot, proud to be a lesbian. He say ain't nobody bringing him down. The highest also what?
The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended.
So the man's times is coming to what? An end. Come on.
And his abominations are fulfilled.
And his abomination, what is his abomination? What is the main abomination? Being a faggot, right? Lesbian and all that. What is his other abomination? Yeah, lies. His teaching of Christianity. What is his other abomination? Polluted their air, polluted the water, polluted the earth. All right, come on.
And therefore appear no more thou eagle.
He ain't going to appear no more. Most High taking him off the scene.
nor thy horrible winds,
nor any of his people to rule.
nor thy wicked feathers,
Meaning the same thing, any of his people to rule.
nor thy malicious heads,
The three heads, the French, the Spanish, and the British, nor his malicious heads. Go on.
nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body.
So that last statement is telling you the whole nation of the so-called white man is what? Vain. Did y'all get that understanding? All the so-called white people are vain, no matter where they're at. Who's saying this? Read.
That all the earth may be refreshed.
Yeah, that all the earth may be refreshed means all the earth. Means the air, the water, the animals, because everything's catching hell since he's ruling. And us. Go on.
And may return, being delivered from thy violence,
And we're going to be delivered from his violence. Go on.
and that she may hope for the judgment
Ain't we hoping for the judgment?
and mercy of him that made her.
Okay, now, let's jump to the 10th verse of the 12th chapter.
The second Ezra is the 10th chapter,
I mean,
the
12th.
12th chapter and the 10th verse. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
So I know this, and I know what I'm teaching is the truth, so I'm telling you right there. Okay? Because in Daniel starts from the Babylonian Empire, and the fourth empire was the what? The Roman world, the white world. And that's what he's talking about here. He said this is the fourth empire. Y'all got that? So I know what I'm telling you is right. And y'all know it now too, right? Because that's the proof on it right there. Now, I'm going to end with that and continue on. Wait, no. I'm sorry. Let's jump down to, because the tape is coming to an end, and I'm going to continue with this some more in another place. Read the 22nd verse.
The second Ezra is the 12th chapter and the 22nd verse. And whereas thou sawest three heads resting, this is the interpretation. In his last days shall the Most High raise up three kingdoms.
Are we in the last days? And the three kingdoms is when it said that this horn plucked up three of them by the roots. This horn in the book of Daniel is who? America. And the three that America plucked up by the roots was who? The French, the Spanish, and the British. Spanish-American War, French-American War, the War of Independence against Britain. All right, go on.
And renew many things therein. And they shall have the dominion of the earth.
And they renewed the philosophies of the Roman Empire over us. Go on.
And of those that dwell therein with much oppression.
And did they oppress us?
Above all those that were before them.
Come on, but this white man was more wicked than any nation on the planet to us. Go on.
Therefore are they called the heads of the eagle.
Where you at?
Now the 24th verse, the end of it.
Right, go on.
For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness, and that shall finish his last end. And
Yeah, so we're coming up to the end, so we're knowing that this is right what I'm telling you. You see what I'm telling you? Because who ruled in this end box? The British, the French, before we got to America, right? And who's ruling now? America. Come on.
And whereas thou sawest that the great head appeared no more, it signified that one of them shall die upon his bed. And
Now, I said I was going to look into that and see if that was one of them kings over England that died upon his bed. They made a movie about King George. Read on.
And yet with pain, for the two that remain shall be slain with the sword. For the sword of the one shall devour the other.
Yeah, the French and the British. I mean, the French and the Spanish. Go on.
But at the last shall he fall through the sword himself. And whereas thou sawest two feathers under the wings fastened over the head, that is on the right side, it signifies that these are they whom the highest had kept unto their end.
That's America. You got that? And the two feathers there represent what? Republican and Democratic Party. Like it says in the book of Revelation, I think it's the 13th chapter. And it had two horns, the Republican and the Democratic Party. Read that statement again. Tell them where you're at.
This is 2 Esdras, the 12th chapter and the 29th verse.
Come on.
And whereas thou sawest two feathers on the wings fastened over the head, that is on the right side, it signified that these are they whom the highest had kept unto their end.
So who has he kept to the end? America. Everybody.
America.
Come on.
This is a small kingdom and full of trouble.
This is the small kingdom. It's telling you. So what is this kingdom? America. Is it full of trouble? It's getting ready to have a race war here. Go on.
As thou sawest, and the lion whom thou sawest rising up out of the wood, and roaring and speaking to the eagle, and rebuking her
for her unrighteousness.
And rebuking her for her unrighteousness.
This is Jesus Christ. Go on.
With all the words which thou hast heard. This is the anointed.
Who's the anointed?
Christ.
What is his name? Christ. It means anointed. Y'all see that? There we go.
This is the anointed which the highest hath kept for them, and for their wickedness unto the end. He shall reprove them.
How is Christ going to reprove them? He coming in the heavens with the angels to destroy them. You see how heavy this is? This is history. Come on, read on.
And shall upbraid them with their cruelty.
He's going to upbraid them. He's going to overturn them. He's going to destroy them. Root them up out of their kingdom. How you going to root them up with? Yeah, go on.
For he shall set them before him alive in judgment, and shall rebuke them and correct them.
When he says shall set them, read again.
For he shall set them before him alive in judgment. And
what is that talking about? Slavery. He's going to set them before him alive in judgment, slavery. Remember, we're going to kill some of them. 149th Psalm said we're going to kill some of them with the sword. And the ones that's not killed with the sword, we're going to put them in what? Right. Okay. Come on.
And shall rebuke them and correct them. For the rest of my people shall he deliver with mercy.
So he's going to deliver us with mercy. So who's going to be delivered? Like Isaiah 14 say what? He will be. Right. Say it loud so the camera can pick it up.
Isaiah 14:1 says, for the Lord will have mercy in Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
Okay, come on.
For the rest of my people shall he deliver with mercy, those that have been preserved upon my borders. And he shall make them joyful unto the coming of the day of judgment.
He's going to make us joyful because we're going to see our enemies judged. Gone.
Whereof I have spoken unto thee from the beginning.
Because the book is about us. Israel is from the beginning. It's about us. It's about us. We the people of the Most High. Okay, that's it on that.